Finally, the moment a couple of you have been waiting for.
It's all like bing bong, Jack.
Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Duval and St. Johns County. The show for Jag fans by Jag fans.
You can't have a newcomer come in and steal the show.
Here are your hosts, Franklin and Michael how you say it? DeZoba. Welcome to the Jaggernaut Podcast. Jacksonville Jaguar fans, how we feeling out there? Welcome to another Jaggernaut Podcast.
Duval! Throwing that out there, starting us off right.
Whooping them mayonnaise, eating Tennessee Titan fan base. I don't know. What do we call these guys? I'm just happy.
Sunday we called them losers. Because that's what they were.
Last in the AFC South. That's another name we can call them. Facts.
After years of domination, how does it feel?
It felt really good, man. That's 3 in a row. Think about that. Three in a row.
Yep. I remember, I want to say Devin McCourty, one of them got up to do a draft pick, and he said that Jacksonville hasn't repeated as AFC championships or AFC South champions since he was in high school. I hope that changes. I hope we change that narrative. Yeah. Nobody will ever be able to use that. Man, it feels good. Derrick Henry, 38 yards on 10 carries. Woo! My man.
Yeah. No, that's the other, I think, story. I think in 6 halves he's had one good half against us. These 3 games combined, if memory serves. So, which is great because he's a hometown boy and he needs to stop what he was doing to us, and that's just all there is to it. So he need the universe is aligned. There's a lot of strange things going on in the world today, but at least the Jacksonville Jaguars have beaten the Tennessee Titans, and that is the most important thing. Well, maybe not the most important thing, but it feels really important.
The apocalypse could have started, but as long as we beat the Tennessee Titans, we're good. We're good.
or maybe this is a sign that the apocalypse has started.
hey, let's not.
This is part of the apocalypse I'm enjoying.
Yeah, no Debbie Downer stuff.
Yeah, it's just like, one of those, it's a sign.
It is.
I think it's a revelation from the somewhere. Game. Spotted cat over the Titan, And
he takes from the game? Who looked good, who looked bad?
Yeah, so first of all, I mean, Trevor had a bounce back. I love the fact that you saw Ridley and Trevor connect. It'd be nice to see a bit more Ingram. I still want to see more Ingram involved. I think that that in fairness though, he didn't have big catches, but I like the catches that he had because I have said that we're a bit one-dimensional, at least in terms of the fact that we don't tend to throw in the center of the field. The play, the route trees or the routes points where we're connecting are very outside. They're shallow a lot of times, bubble screens, tight end screens, whatever, and then they're down the sidelines. That was what we did with Ridley. He was doing some different other things. He crossed the middle a few times, but just to catch to the other side. But so, I mean, it was good. I mean, there's definitely no question about it. 2 running touchdowns for Trevor, 2 passing touchdowns, and I was listening to Tom McManus, and he said something that we have been saying, so he's noticing this too. Trevor running is a good thing. Like the pass feeds off the run. He can run, get going, take your shots on foot, and everything else builds off of that. I didn't like the the one called run, and maybe there was two of them. That seemed like a terrible. I don't know if it's called or if it was he just chose to keep it. That didn't seem like a good decision. But other than that, Trevor ran and he had a great day, and that seems to be a pattern.
I think so. I think because at that point, if you watch a running quarterback, they don't necessarily need a good offensive line. They just need an offensive line to push guys out of the way, if that makes sense, right? And just sort of stand there, and then the quarterback can find the lane because you have these guys in a wide arc. So you have that way, you got that way. Sometimes you got right on up the middle, depending on how your O-line pushes these guys out.
Yeah.
I'm fine with never having Trevor do a run call at all.
Right.
But,
yeah, you don't need
pick
to.
your spots. Pick your spots. And make the run. If the defense, if all you see is the back of the defense, take it in whole ass. Go get the first down and slide.
Yeah, and I think sorry to interrupt, but I think that you brought something out when you said the back of their head. So typically that means man, and unfortunately, because of the type of offense that we run, teams do a lot of short zone on us, which is what we talked about that last week. The 49ers did to us, and so that also keeps your quarterback from being able to get much in regards to positive yardage when he does get a chance to scramble out of the pocket. So, again, it's just a matter of coaching. You got to execute and have the right plays called to sort of get that defense not so confident to sit in those short zones. And I'm not exactly sure what those calls are, but whatever we were doing worked against the Titans. What was your thoughts on the offensive line?
I thought they played okay. I don't think they played great because ETN didn't have a good day. So it's not like they were blowing people off the ball. Trevor got sacked, so they didn't have a great day. But they played okay. I mean, if you play 4 quarters and don't give up a sack, or you play 4 quarters and your running back has 200 yards or 2 touchdowns and 130 yards, that's a good day. Like, that's a really good day.
Yeah.
I think they played okay. And I think we can win with okay. What we can't win with is just boneheaded. I don't know how to describe some of the play from our offensive linemen over the course of this season, but it has been atrocious.
Let's just hope this continues. Average offensive line play, please. That's all we need. Average offensive
and that's
line
all we're asking for. Just average.
Yep.
Which is sad because we've been beating the drums.
Yeah.
But hey, we'll take,
Well,
so,
and I get what you're saying, because we've been beating the drums in regards to draft picks and player procurement in that arena, and the message from the team has been, well, they'll get it together, as if it's a coaching problem and not it's an X's and O's problem and not a Jimmy's and Joe's problem. It's like, maybe you got the wrong Jimmy's and Joe's, but I will say this. So when I say I'll take average, it's also in the context of the league's offensive line situations are not typically good. I mean, you can think of the teams that tend to have the good offensive lines. You kind of know which ones they are.
Yeah, they're the better teams.
Yeah, so. And that's the thing. And in fairness to us, we are maybe not at their level, but we're pretty close, despite the fact that our offensive line is at best average. So we'll take it is what it is at this point. So we just gotta, if we can just get average, that's great. Let's move on.
I thought our defense played well. I didn't have any issues yet. We gave up 2 scores. One of the scores was on a weird play. I'm not sure I would have covered Jeffrey Simmons coming out of the backfield.
Right.
So if you have to resort to trickery to score on us, good day. Good day. By that time we were already up 28-7, I think it was.
Yeah.
So, and then Frank, let's give it up to Tank Bigsby. Thank you, Tank, for allowing them to continue a drive and put the first points on the board. Let's talk about what you did. You jumped offside on a punt. You're not blocking the punt, dude. You're not blocking it.
Yeah.
Why are you even moving? You might as well just rock back and set up the block.
Well, hey, you know what? They gave him the ball toward the end of the game when they figured the game was out of reach. And let's talk about what didn't happen. He didn't just turn the ball over to them and they take it and run it back 90 yards for a touchdown, then come out and kick a onside kick. Which, would fit the Tank Bigsby motif right now. That guy is... So he had a series of plays where he looked...
Okay.
He didn't come out and just do Tank's Bigsby stuff that he's been doing. And that's the thing. My thought was let's wipe the taste out of our mouth this year. Sit him down. I think it would be best for him and for everybody else. And did you catch the Dewey yelling at him on the sideline?
No, so I saw that, but I didn't know exactly what was going on. What was Dewey saying?
Well,
can you paraphrase?
You can't. No, you don't know. It's just like from far away, but you see he was getting in. He was like yelling at him, like stop screwing up, basically. Which is a Dewey thing, right? Like he's one of us. This is what makes this guy. It's like, man, he's on defense, right? He's like, dude, he probably was telling him. He's like, dude, it's all because of you. They hadn't scored until you messed up. It wasn't 2 plays, right? I think it was like 2 plays, and then they scored after he did that. Yeah,
I mean, so it was 4th and 6, and then he jumped off sides, which made it 4th and 1.
Right. They
went for it. They converted it. And then, I think D-Hop caught that long pass. And then there was another run and then the D-Hop pass.
Okay, three plays.
And then, boom, that's what it was. So, yeah, that touchdown, I understand it could be on our defense. I see how people can look at it that way. That shit's on Tank Bigsby. If you want to be a playoff team, if you want to be a Super Bowl winning team, that stuff can't happen. And Tank Bigsby has done it more times this year than he has not.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I think even at a certain point, that the whole team mentality, when you back each other and, when you hear it, when the offense has a bad day, the defense says, yeah, that's what we're here for, to pick them up. And at a certain point, though, man, dude, and in fairness, maybe they need to start talking to the coaches. Hey, why is he still out there?
Yeah. Why is he active on Sunday?
That can be a problem because it seemed like that was an issue with the Bortles controversy. And, of course, that had to do also with money, which exacerbated the problem. But obviously that was an issue where the players looked at the playmaking ability and said, hey, man, this guy's hindering us at this point.
Right. You guys paid the wrong person.
Yeah, and it's not just that. It's like your job is to make sure, like you're asking us to trust that your game plan makes sense to follow you into quote unquote battle, and you're clearly, putting somebody out there that's sort of, going to cost somebody. It's going to cost us wins, so that can hurt team morale. So I don't know. I mean, again, what you going to do? I guess you just got to hope going into the Texans game that, he doesn't have another, because that was another thing. He did that in the Texans game too.
Yeah.
So what else we got in this game? Defense as a whole played really well. I thought linebackers, man. The linebackers were, Devin Lloyd jumped out at me. He definitely jumped out at me. Hitting Henry in the hole. I saw that. Lewicon's doing what he does, just all over the place.
That man is a beast. If you guys are listening to our podcast, right, anybody, I don't care. Well, Lewicon should be in line for defensive MVP or for the Pro Bowl. I mean, something. This dude is balling, and nobody seems to give a shit because he's playing for Jacksonville.
Yeah. And maybe now, we do get a little more hype, so maybe he'll start to get his due because he has. And in fairness, like, I wasn't sure he was this good. It was more or less, the defense. You got an offensive, you got a linebacker who makes a lot of tackles. So you go, okay, that could be, he's really good at getting to the ball, or it could be people up front aren't doing their job, and
And
he's
he has
having to
to clean
clean
it
up a
up.
bunch of
Yep.
nonsense, and he's just adequate, but everybody's terrible around him. But obviously, that's not the case. Um, this is a good defense. If we just had another um, defensive end that could really help with the pass rush, there's no telling how great this defense could be. Caldwell is scheming up pressure quite well, though. So you got to call it where it
Yeah,
is.
I haven't. Early in the year, I was all on Caldwell. I'm not on him so much anymore. So maybe he has grown into the defensive coordinator that I thought he maybe could be.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't know. That's the best accolades I can give him at the moment because I still want to see it. But
well, in fairness to
you
him,
know,
though, the players have to make the plays, and the truth
same thing
is,
on offense.
yeah, I know, but here's the deal: there's consistency in two different directions, right? The offense is what we liked about the Titans game is that it was a breath of fresh air. You can say what the Saints game was good on offense. The Buffalo Bills game was good on offense. Was there even another game? Am I missing another game?
Atlanta was okay, maybe.
Yeah, Atlanta had its moments. Yeah.
The first game against Indy was okay.
The truth is the defense has held this team, and is the reason why the team has the record
I
that it has.
I completely agree. This is
So
all defense. Yes.
so and that being the case too, here's what I'm thinking in regards to consistency. Remember, Caldwell was the defensive coordinator just last year. This was his first stint as defensive coordinator, and it was difficult sledding to start. The defense didn't look that good, but as the season wore on, they got better and better. And again, the last half of the season, that run that we went on, the playoffs, the defense was there the whole time. I mean, in this league, you're never going to have a situation where you're not having the 85 Bears anymore, or the 2000 whatever Ravens. You're just not going to have that type of season from a defense, I don't think, anymore, the way that the rules are set up. So this is a really good defense, and
Yeah,
it's
this is a
been
good
that way for at least a solid year now. So you got to give him the kudos that he deserves.
All right, brother, you're right. When you're right, Dave Caldwell, I give you your props, sir. You are doing an excellent
It's not
job.
Dave.
Whatever it is.
Mike.
Mike Caldwell?
Yeah.
Who's Dave Caldwell?
Dave
Is
Caldwell is
that the
our old
GM?
GM. Yeah.
Old GM? Well, I'm sorry. I flubbered
Yeah,
that all up. Okay. Mike Caldwell, I am sorry. I'm giving you your to-dos. Good job on the defense.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I have noticed Jamal Agnew's absence. You see that? Man, I hope he comes back soon. I hope he gets healthy. All right, because this is the second time where he's missed some time this year.
Yeah.
And I would really like to have him back. Parker Washington did nothing for me. I don't know if it was coverage or if they just told him, look, just catch the ball. Catch the ball
it's
or let it
probably a
go.
little both. I didn't see him get a lot of opportunities. There was one time where he fair caught it, and I thought,
Are you not running?
yeah, you could have taken that one there. And look, that's this is in fairness, you don't want him to make a mistake. So that's going to
Right.
be rule number one. So you're not going to go, okay. If you even think that there's a chance that somebody's going to be too close to you and cause an issue, fair catch
Just
it. Make
stay there.
sure.
Yep. Fair catch it. Stay
so
there. All right.
in that respect.
Well, the again, 3 phases of football all played well enough to win. I think the Defense played what the defense does. They came to play. And I thought the offense played probably about 70% of its capability. I still think there is a decent chunk
About right.
that the offense can actually turn out. Now, granted, maybe it's all preferenced on a decent O line
Yeah.
or good O line play. I'm not sure, but I believe that the offense still has a chance to elevate. I would like to say that I did say this could be a blowout.
Yeah, and I was not with you, so there you go. There's your kudos, because maybe it's just the Titans. I mean, I just hate the idea of even thinking we're gonna blow somebody out. Um,
I get it.
I
I
never
do. I
thought
get
we
it.
were gonna get blown out by the 49ers either. So
Yeah.
I guess that's just not
I
my
didn't think
nature.
that either. I thought we would hold it a lot closer than what we did, but
Yeah.
they just, man. So let me ask you, Frank. I'm sure it's going to be Battle Red in old Texarkana this weekend as the Jaguars go to Houston.
Yeah. We'll see. Do they even do Battle Red anymore?
I know they used to, man. Every time we would show up, it would be damn Battle Red.
Yeah. Um, so CJ Stroud threw 3 interceptions last week.
I think he also threw two or three touchdowns.
I'm
The
not.
guy hasn't slowed down.
Yeah.
I didn't know a lot. I was never a big Bryce Young guy coming out of the draft, and I wasn't sure on CJ Stroud. But at some point, when do you say that? What is it? You know how they say like rookies come back to earth
Yeah.
or come back down? Okay.
Mhm.
At what point do you say, well, no, his game is that elevated? You
I think
know,
middle of next year.
because he still keeps winning. He makes mistakes, but the team as a whole overcomes those mistakes. Whether it's offense, defense, special teams, they overcome it.
Yeah, I think it's their coach, and I don't know why his name is
D'Amico Ryan's.
D'Amico. Yeah. I was a big fan of that hire for them in the sense that I didn't like it, the fact that he's going to be in our division, but I just really appreciated the fact that I could see liking that as a Jag fan and some former Jaguar, who's got that sort of defensive, uh, hard nosed mentality and was with a winning program and comes back to sort of save the franchise in some respect. I like that sort of concept for them. And it seems to be paying off really well. I wasn't a fan of the draft originally. I didn't think, was it Will Anderson? Is that who they
Yeah, Will
drafted?
Anderson. Yeah,
I didn't think. I mean, I didn't mind that draft pick, but I thought the concept of trading back up, and of course, now you go, well, then it's brilliant. Not in the sense that they traded back up. I still don't think that was smart at the time, but now it makes all the sense in the world because they just got themselves what appears to be a really good franchise quarterback. Um, and how can we argue Will Anderson as as a high pick when we've got Trayvon? So he's kind of comparable. He's not quite as large as Trayvon. Maybe he's got a little bit more quicks. They'll probably end up being around the same because I don't think Will Anderson's doing. He's not blowing any. No, he's not doing stuff that C.J. Stroud's doing. Let's just put it that way. So, but he's okay player. He's not. He's Trayvon. I mean, so.
all right. Well, anyway, does this team scare you? What do you think
Well,
about
yeah.
the game?
Well, okay. So here's what I think. Here's what, and I'm gonna go back to the same thing that I can't imagine we're gonna have the same type of game. There's no way.
I
Now,
agree. I believe we may lose this game, but
yeah,
we ain't getting
sure.
our ass whooped.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna be focused on this one. So, and if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, yeah, I don't like how we lost to the 49ers, but a loss to the 49ers all said and, it was like, whatever. It isn't going to hurt us that much because when you go through the schedule and you pick wins and losses, you definitely would rather have a loss to the 49ers than you would I don't know, the Titans,
Right.
the
Right. Or the
Texans.
Texans. Yeah. Or the
So
Texans. Yeah. So, and that's what I think. I think Jacksonville, I think Doug Peterson's going to have them ready to play. And I think as long as Tank Bigsby stays on the sideline,
oh God, please don't put him in this game.
we got a really good chance.
Yeah, I think
You
I
know?
think the defense too, because we talked about the defense. Maybe them seeing this is the second time they're going to see Stroud and his weapons. That can't that has to be something that helps them. And in my opinion, they have a taste in their mouth about what happened, and I can't imagine they they are not focused. I can't imagine that they don't have that, man. If I'd have just taken the angle, I knew I should have, stopped short
Mhm.
here, and I knew I should have shaded left, whatever. How that, all the different nuances that you think about, probably not that I would know, but I mean, I'm assuming these players have those sort of talks about, to themselves, and then afterwards when they're watching the film about how things got out of hand. And so I think going into this, that has to play a part. They're not going to be taken, and you're just not going to have the same stuff. The what was that punt thing where, and that was something that happened in the San Francisco game. So that's the only thing that
Right.
scares me, though, is that I would feel a lot better about this game if we'd have lost a respectable game to the 49ers. Because if you remember, the 49ers one, there was that one play where I don't even remember what it was, but it was a fumble. The guy picks it up, and nobody's touching him. Nobody's, all of our, it's like the play's over, but the play wasn't over. In our minds, the play was over, but there was no whistle. So it was like a mental issue, a drive issue, a continuation issue and that happened in the Texans game when it came to that special teams play. So the fact maybe the fact that it happened in the 49ers game is a reminder to you better keep your head on the swivel, play all the way, play even after the whistle. Maybe if there's anything that happens in this game, maybe that's what you see. The mistakes that are made are too aggressive. Maybe
Right.
you're hitting after the whistle because you're that amped up about it. I could see stuff like that going on. And that may be what, bites us a little bit. But I'd much rather see that than what we saw the first time.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only place they beat us is maybe offensive line. I think everything being else, I think we outweigh them. So technically, we should win. We should have won the first time they came in
Right.
there. We didn't. Now, I'm going to tell you this. The only team that we lost to that we put up a decent showing was the Chiefs,
Right.
right? But the 49ers, now they had drives where they just consistently cleaned our clock. But they also had some fluky shit in there,
Yeah.
right? The Texans had a little bit more fluky
There's a lot
shit
of fluky stuff, really.
than them cleaning our clocks.
Yeah.
So if we can minimize or not have any of the fluky stuff, then I think we should win this game.
Yeah. I mean,
You know?
there were 3 fluky touchdowns. 3 fluky touchdowns. I mean, and I'm calling the Kittle touchdown, and I'm thinking about the 49ers game so much, not the Texans, but Purdy threw the one pass back in the end zone. He should have never thrown that. That's just a dumb play, but somehow, Campbell
It
fell
worked out.
short,
Yep.
and then it was a good read on Purdy's part to see that Kittle was being covered by Lloyd, but Lloyd didn't have terrible coverage, and it was just like the ball got around. By the time he turned, Kittle was gone, and it was a split second. If he held it just a little bit longer, he's going to get hit. It's these split second things that happen if they just don't all go the 49ers way, that game could be completely different. So, and here's what do you think about this too? Because this has to play a role too. This is on the road, which I hate to say it, because you want your you want your team to play well at home, but that's when we come out and crap ourselves for hopefully we can get that under control, but we have not had that problem on the road. And this is on the road, so
Yep.
maybe that plays into our favor when it comes to this. So that just goes, okay, the worst case scenario is we have a same kind of showing that we had before, but that doesn't match this season so far in that respect. This is at their house, which you go, oh, that's not good. But then you go, well, wait a minute, it's good for us the way we've been playing.
Right, because we tend to play, tend to play better on the road. Well, I'm going 24-17, Jags. I'm calling it close. I think it is a bit of a struggle, but I think that some of those fluky plays don't show up. And I think we put at least 3 TDs up, whether it's Ingram, whether it's Ridley, whether it's ETN. I think we get 3 TDs. I think we get a field goal, and I think we keep them right around 17. They may get a fluky touchdown. They may come out and throw a bomb to their Tank Dell or whatever. All right, so there's one. I think we can do good at holding their run game in check, but they may be able to get close enough where their guys just push us off the line, and then they get that extra one. So that's my thinking on it. So I say 21-24-17, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 27-21.
I can see that.
Got the Jags. Got the road team in this one. Vegas has us up 1 point.
Sort of makes sense based off the way that we played them the first time. Now, technically, though, if you're a home team, you're almost guaranteed, and you're decent, you're guaranteed a 3-point advantage.
Right.
So basically, they're slighting Houston by 4.
Yeah. Well. And it could be, and again, you asked when can you say this is just the elevated play of this quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say what tends to happen when at the times, and most quarterbacks do have this, when they come back down, it's usually because their tendencies are on tape and the defensive coordinators start to try to do things and find out, oh, he actually is susceptible. And so back to that concept of having played CJ Stroud before, maybe there is something on tape that I have to think that the coaches that Monday after that Tennessee or that Texans game had to have gone back and thought, because they know we're going to play them again. They have to be thinking, for one, how did this happen to us? It worked. Figuring that and dissecting that works for every game coming up to make sure we never do that again. We did, but we did. But the point is that I'm sure they were focused, the coaches, in regards to just trying to figure this Texan team out, which they hadn't seen before. And maybe the players, look beyond them a little bit and things spiraled, and now we won't do that. So, yeah, it should be a fun one, I think, though.
I think so, because I think if we beat them, we got the division.
Well, yeah, no, there's no question about it. But if they beat us, they may have the division.
I think so. I don't know exactly their record in the division,
They're
but I think
behind us, so they'd be a half game.
Their total record or their division record?
Oh, division record? I don't know. I don't think it matters. You want to win the division because it's the AFC, man. I don't want to take a chance for trying to get a wild card.
I don't want a wild card, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if we beat them, we own the division. I don't think that there's enough games left for them to overcome that 2-game deficit or 3-game deficit in the division. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
If they beat us, there's still a chance we have a better record.
Right.
So it's hard to say. But yes, I want to beat them and I want to keep going, and I think we will.
Yeah, if we can get this game under our belt, if we can get the Texans, then I think that could be a really nice leveling out point where we can now begin to push, make that push toward
Toward the playoffs.
toward the playoffs. You start
Yeah.
really refining some things, but we have to get it done because if we
And that
don't,
always the
we could be
case.
stressing a little bit.
That's right. Please keep Tank Bigsby on the sideline.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the journey that is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Feels good.
The
Enjoy it.
Jagopolis.
Yep. Enjoy kicking Tennessee's ass.
Yeah,
We
breathe it in. Man,
It's an awesome thing.
smells
Awesome
like
thing.
barbecue. Smells like sunshine.
I'll take it every day. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. If you want, hit the like, subscribe, tell your friends. Yeah. Leave a comment. Yeah, leave a comment. Like, we will respond. I don't know why nobody comments, but whatever. You don't have to. It's
Yeah.
mandatory. So.
All right, guys.